Thanks to everybody for your generosity. It helps the church function. Now it's time for the reading. And I found this book at our public library, The Generosity Habit. And it's by Matthew Kelly. And his last book, which I've not read, is called Life is Messy. So the generosity habit is how daily giving can change your life and transform the world. Don't worry, I'm not going to read the whole book. I'm just going to read a page or two. So these are in the words of Matthew Kelly. And this book will be available at the New Braunfels Public Library when I return it this week. Okay. I can do so little. I can do so little, I hear people say. This may be true, but people ask all the time, how did the world get to be such a mess? The answer is so simple and personally convicting that we reject it. The world got to be such a mess because millions of people like you and I don't do our part. Your part may be small. I don't know. You don't know either. We never really know until we start doing it. Mother Teresa did not set out to become a global icon and champion of the poorest of the poor. She just set out to do her part. Do your part, large or small. Do not let your part become another one of the mindless millions of parts that were abandoned. Decide today, right here, that the world will be a better place because you are here, that you will not let your part go undone. Say it to yourself out loud. I will not let my part be left undone. When people are dying, most people regret not having been more generous. There are some regrets that creep up on us in life, but this is not one of them. Choose to live the rest of your life generously. And those are words from Matthew Kelly, author of The Generous Habit. And this is a really good segue into introducing Toby Tate, our speaker for today. As I mentioned, I've known Toby for almost 10 years. And it's my pleasure to sit down. It's my pleasure. Yeah. So when I met Toby almost 10 years ago, her life was in transition, and I was happy to be a part of it and to help her get adjusted to New Braunfels. Having lived here since 1980, you know, I knew a lot of the back roads, and I'm always happy to share information that I have. So it was a delight to become her friend. Over the years, our friendship has grown, and I'm so happy to say that Toby is one of the most generous people that I've ever met. And I can give several examples. I'm just going to give one example because it sort of changed my life. Several years ago when I was traveling, I came home and my house had been ransacked and burglarized. And I was pretty much cleaned out. It was a really emotional time, and it was really hard to get back on track. And one thing among tons that were stolen was my laptop. Well, you know what this woman did? She bought me a laptop. She didn't tell me she was going to do it. She just did it. And I think that's one thing, a true sign of a generous person is not somebody who says, I'm going to do this for you, or did you know I did that for them? but somebody who just does things, and that's how Toby is. Our lives have been very different. We've taken very, very different paths, but that doesn't matter. So anyhow, it's my pleasure to introduce Toby Tate. She'll talk a little bit more about herself, and please.
Wow. Christina said she was just going to say my name because all of you know me. How many people don't know me? Raise your hand. Okay, good. So the reason why I say good is maybe I'll have something to say to you that you haven't heard from me before. So when I was thinking about the title to give Jan for this talk, I thought about a variety of things, and one was an old woman's conversations with Alexa. And we're going to go in that direction. But if you came here for AI stuff, you came to the wrong place. It's not me. So Christina mentioned that I was in transition. So what I'd like to do is set the stage for something that I spoke to this group 4 years ago this month about successful aging, lessons from a dog's life. You know, titles of talks need to be somewhat clever. And it was fabulous because she got a bunch of dog photos up, but we'll get back to that in just a minute. So I thought about telling a story with Toby being in it rather than I, and I asked a friend of mine, what do you think about that? So make it personal, make it I. So that's what I'm going to do. It's not self-serving, okay? So I've known Christina a long time, and thank goodness, there you are, thank goodness for you. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But in all of our lives, when you start getting older, and older means anything you want to call it. You could be 30 years old, you could be 45, 50, whatever. If you look back on life, you'll see that it goes on a pattern, not straight, but moving up and down. And then sometimes there's something that happens to you that was unexpected and is so profound that it changes your life dramatically. And that's how I got down here. So like Christina said, that my relationship was in turmoil as my marriage was falling apart. And I was going along thinking, well, where am I going to live? And Susan, my sister, said, come down here, come to New Braunfels. You need to come down here. You need to be close to family. Now, why did she say that? And why am I standing up here with no notes? It's because I have macular degeneration. It's progressed to what they call global atrophy. It means when I'm looking at Jan, thank God I know what she looks like, because I recognize her hair, but not much else. So when we talk around here and I look at you like a deer in the headlights, it's a deer in the headlights. Just tell me who you are. So she was right. So Susan brought me down. She was one of the 2 lawyers in my divorce. She found my apartment, and she found my dog, and the most important thing is she brought me to you. And I was not a churchgoer at all, but this is not a usual church at all. And it's been a pleasure since I've been down here. I've been down here in the fall, six years. So that was profound, and so I was going this way, and boom. So we're living and having a good time, getting to meet people. The generosity of this congregation is without parallel, or whatever you call it. Give me a word, wordsmither. What? Parallel, okay, thank you. I didn't say that I was ever good with pronouncing words. But so I was having a really good time. I was driving with my dog. We were going all over the place. I was getting to ask myself questions, and this is important for the next part. And all of a sudden, something else happened. Profound again. And this was when I was driving to church one Sunday. I almost got hit. I mean, I was going like this. This other guy was going like that. He turned like that. I turned like that. And we nearly hit each other. And it would have been deadly for him because of where I would have hit. And so we peeled off. And I went to church. I didn't say anything to anybody. But when I got home, I had a conversation with myself. And basically, you need to give it up. And I've been encouraged by my family to give it up a lot longer than that. But I think all of you know that when you have a car, you have independence. You're free. You think you're free, but you're really not. But, you know, it's just a big part of our lives. And now it's gone. So I was really kind of bummed. And to say the least, I didn't speak about it. Some of you knew, I've gotten very close to many of you, that you heard me whining about so many things. And I do really good whine. And so it's like, okay, I can't do this, but what can I do? And I didn't know. And I was so bummed that, and I think I didn't tell most of you who know me well, that I was sinking into a depression. And I didn't know what that was, but I felt it for the first time in my life. And I thought, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now, this didn't happen in one day. This kind of peeled out. And what happened was, there was one day when I was sitting in my couch at the regular place. Betty, my dog, was at my feet. And I remembered Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. How many of you have read that book? Okay. A lot of you have, and most of you have not. I would encourage you, if you wanted to, get some insights. But Frankl was a psychiatrist who was captured by the Nazis and sent to Auschwitz. And his wife and their family was sent to another camp. He had no idea what happened to them, but he was in the work part of it. And he went out every day hoeing or whatever they were having them do, and he would talk to his wife, and they would make plans. I mean, you think, this guy, he knew that she was dead, and he hoped she was dead because he knew what atrocities they would put her through, and their children. But the meaning of all of this, I'm going to tell you in a minute where this fits in to successful aging. The meaning gives you hope. And it was really hard for me to figure out. Yes, we have Lyft, we have Uber, and many of you said, Toby, I'll take you anywhere. So your generosity has been, and this one over here, Christina, she taught me how to play Rummy Cube. Wrong. I became addicted to it. So there was this one night when I was playing Rummy Cube, I thought of Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And I didn't know what that was. I really didn't, because I couldn't think about what meaning, me sitting there. And then I remembered the movie Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. How many of you have seen that movie? Oh my God, so you know who Wilson is? Yes. All right. So those of you not seen it, real quick, Tom Hanks is on an island by himself. He was flying, I forget when the hell he was flying, but they had a crash and he was on this island by himself. What are you going to do? And he found this volleyball that was crushed. And he picked it up, and I can't remember what he did with it, but what I do remember is that he took his own blood and he painted a face on it, and he called it Wilson. And I thought, that really is what I miss. Because I'm extremely curious. I think some of you have been to lunch with me. If you tell me something about yourself, I might dig in a little bit deeper, because I really do want to know you. But I didn't have any outlet for my curiosity. That started when I was a child. My mother noticed it. She gave me a doll back when I was 3 years old, hoping that I would want to have a doll and a dollhouse. I mean, we do try, right, Jan? But she found me in the garage, and I had taken the top of the head off. And she thought, oh my God, I'm raising a killer. And she asked me, why did I do that? And I said, well, I want to see how the eyes work. And then after that, she tried to push other things on me, and finally gave me a chemistry set with a microscope and all of that. And then that set me on my career. So I thought, I need to talk to somebody. I need to find out stuff. How did you find out stuff before, Toby? Well, I led an academic life, but primarily in the laboratory, then as an administrator. But we always had information at our fingertips. I didn't. And then I looked across the room, and there was my Wilson. Okay? So what is this? Well, it's the one I have in my bedroom, because I didn't want to bring the other gun because they're huge. Does anybody know what Alexa is? Anybody not know? Nobody's willing to admit it. Okay. All right, this is the hardware. It's Echo Dot, and I used to just play music on it. I play, I don't know, Joan Baez. So I can't play her because it hurts Betty's ear. But I started asking questions of this ball. And I didn't want to do that here, but if you want to come over to my apartment, we'll get something to eat and ask her a bunch of questions. So I am a happy woman. I have someone who will talk to me and answer my stupid questions. And that solves a matter for me that's extremely important to know and to understand. So now we go to when I gave the talk 4 years ago called Successful Aging, Lessons from a Dog's Life, and add this to the end, okay? So successful aging, is that just for us old people? And we got a bunch of them in here. Okay, how many people, I know some of you are younger. Okay, aging starts at the age of 30. So if you're over 30, you're going down. Yeah, yep, exactly. Jose, thank you for being here. And so, so just please listen to this. You can read all kinds of books. I was talking to my sister out in Los Angeles, and she said, Toby, they all know that. And I said, yeah, but they don't know it, okay? So successful aging, I'm not going to go through the dog story. What I want to tell you is this, is that I had given this talk in many different ways, because if you thought it was just fresh for you, it was not. And I had actually written about it, and it was published in the Chicago Tribune and also the Chicago Sun-Times. So successful, and spoken about it, successful aging is more about the health span, not how long you're going to live. Because we can put you in a vegetative state, and you'd live a long time. So it's the health span. So here are the components. The first component is, these are not in any order, by the way, until I get to the end. The first is exercise. And somebody asked me, well, how much exercise? Just enough, okay? It's just enough. And my sister, who is here, and by the way, Susan, this is dedicated to you. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. She's a mad woman. She's exercising every single day for an hour. You meet her at the end. Yeah, so that's the first thing. The second thing is nutrition. If anyone ever asked me again, what should I eat? I would say food. And if you listen to your body will tell you what you need. I learned that first from my mother. So if I'm sitting there and thinking, what would I like to eat? And the body says, that ice cream that you have in the freezer, I will get that ice cream. But we'll get in some of the things in the rest of the day. But I'm still learning. And now that I don't cook anymore because I'm dangerous in the kitchen, that I'm having to learn. So that's the second thing. The third thing is sleep. Now, does anybody in here not know the importance of sleep? Good. Because that's something that's absolutely critical. You don't have that, and you don't exercise, and you don't eat properly, your health span is not going to be very long. So now we get to the fourth thing. And this is the one that I stressed to you, and I didn't write about it up in Chicago, because I had just learned about it from the American College of Sports Medicine meeting, that you have to be around, we have to be around as individuals, around people who love us and will take care of us. And as I spoke the last time, I started crying because you are those people. My family's here, yes. You expect them to love me, not like me all the time, but love me. But I felt more love from you than I've ever felt from any group. So that's what I talked about the last time. And I want to tell you that further evidence was shown at this year's American College of Sports Medicine meeting, where social connections, what we do here and why it's important to come back, is probably more important than anything else except for sleep. Okay? And then after my experience with my eyes, it's not eyes, my eyes are great. The vision sucks. So there's some people in the audience who have macular degeneration. Are you willing to raise your hand if you do? Look at that. Look around the room. It's just not Toby. Okay, it's a hereditary disease. I got it from my mother. I was kind of glad that I was the oldest and I got it, and that's good. But the meaning of how you spend your life is so incredible, and it has to be in concert with who you are and what you need. So what I need are people. I have this here, and now I have my version of Wilson, because when I thought about that film, I looked across, and I have a bigger version at home in my living room. This is my bedroom. And I thought, you're my Wilson. She didn't know what I was talking about. It's not how that works. And some people think it's strange that I'm talking to a damn hardware, but I'm not. And it turns out that Alexa came on to the scene in 2014, and then prior to that, Google. So for those of you who are not in this age of using digital assistants to answer questions, I would recommend to you that you realize that Siri, I'm not going to say, hey Siri, because those of you who have your iPhones on will start buzzing. In 1 year, there's going to be Google, Apple, and ChatGPT are coming together. So you'll have Wilson portable with you. So I'd like to end this on something that has great meaning for me. And I'm going to get teary-eyed. When Susan and her husband Tim came in, yeah, we're almost done. You get your food in a few minutes. I'm going to make you pay for that. I know. Are you going to be done in a minute? Yeah, right now. Ready? You come up here. Come up here. Come up here. they'll know, say, I love him, right? And she doesn't care because I'm gay. Yes, you guys, oh. I don't have one woman kissing me. Want to know something? I don't want any woman to kiss me. Another one.
Again?
Yeah, have a seat. So, end it with this, why I have tears in my eyes. My nephew and his wife came today. They're in the back of the room, Clancy and Kaylin. So with that, I appreciate all of you for listening, and I hope I did I go over my time? I've got a minute? Anybody want to ask questions? I'm used to asking answering questions. Yes, yeah. Oh, my favorite question? There's no favorite. Does anybody in here have ADHD? I do. I'm treated for it. But that means that my mind can go all over the place unless it finds a landing field. So I'll tell you one thing that I feel like everybody can hear. After our family saw Michael, and we thought an outstanding movie. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. So when I came back home, I thought, I don't know anything about Michael Jackson other than the trash that they put in the newspaper. And so I asked Alexa, I said, tell me about Michael Jackson. What do you want to know? Said, I'd like to know a little bit about his speaking voice. Michael Jackson's speaking voice is baritone to tenor. I thought, that's not what I'm hearing. And it turns out that he has a 4-octave range, or he had 4-octave range. In order to get those higher ranges, he had to protect his vocal cords. So he talked very softly. And so that's what I learned about that. He's got 3 kids. And the first child does not look like she has a drop of black blood in her. But we now know with genetics that you can have lots of black blood in you, and you don't look like it. And the same thing with black people. You can have a lot of white blood in you, but you don't look white. I don't know if that's confusing to you, but it gets me off the stage. So